Amy, which would be Hannah's mom, my 6-year-old daughter, Hannah, has a question for you. Will we know everything when we are in heaven? 2 options for that very good question from a 6-year-old. Number 1 option, this applies to every single theological question that might cause you to be in a bit of a conundrum. Go to your room. Just time them out, put them in a chair, end of discussion. That would be an option. The second option would be to discover what heaven will be like, because it's going to be amazing. Does the Bible give us oodles o details about our activities, what our new bodies will be like in heaven? It does not, but I think we can use some sanctified imagination to figure out what we are going to be doing there and what we're going to be like. Let's start with studying the attributes of God. You see, God has 2 types of attributes. He has incommunicable and communicable attributes. Incommunicable, we don't get that. We don't get to be omnipresent, but we do get some of his attributes communicated to us, but never in their totality. For instance, we have some potanes. God is omnipotent. We have just a tiny bit of that communicated to us. We can do stuff, we can build stuff. We also get some of his knowledge, some of his science, but we on this planet do not get omniscience. We don't get to know everything here. We just get a little bit communicated to us. But that begs the question, what about in heaven? There is no reason to think that you and I are somehow going to become divine mini-gods. That is a horrific heresy that is preached in some prosperity quarters. We will get perfect bodies, but that does not mean divine bodies. 1 Corinthians 15 informs us that we're going to get a body that's built to last forever. And this is where I think some of the confusion comes in. We think that in heaven, everything is going to be perfect. And it is. But we have to understand that perfection doesn't mean that we get everything that God has. It doesn't mean that our bodies are somehow going to become these supernatural things that allow us to leap over a tall building in a single bound. Because we have this perception that perfection means that we should be able to do everything, I think that is where this question comes from. It seems that if everything in heaven is going to be perfect, and it is, that means I can do everything perfectly. It is not a sin to miss a basketball shot. It is not a sin to not be able to bench press 8,000 pounds. It is not a sin to get a question wrong on a math test. In heaven, we will have perfect bodies. It doesn't mean that we're going to have attributes that are completely perfected like God. That would make us God. We would become God ourselves if we could do everything that God could do, if we had every ability, every aspect of knowledge that God has, and we had every single skill and attribute that he possesses. Don't worry, we will not be sinning in heaven. We will not do anything that would cause us to get kicked out of the kingdom. But that doesn't mean that our eternity is going to be filled with doing supernatural feats, able to do everything that we put our minds to, knowing every single thing about everything that's going on in the universe. Does that detract from what it's going to be like in heaven? I don't think so. Again, sanctified imagination. We can continue to learn in heaven. Why wouldn't we? We can continue to create art in heaven. Why wouldn't we? Why would there be less in heaven than there is on earth? I think we're going to be building things, making things, creating things, cooking things, eating things, enjoying everything rightly. But that does not mean that we get any of God's attributes in full. If you have been going bonkers regarding health insurance, right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. I am thrilled to commend to you MediShare, a community of Christians sharing each other's health care bills. For 100,000 members strong, sharing over $4 billion in medical bills. That means a savings on average per family of $500 per month. Find out more by going to Medishare.com/wretched.